Emily had just moved into her grandmother's old house on the outskirts of a quiet American town. A peaceful place surrounded by tall trees and long empty roads where the nights felt unusually deep and silent. And at first, everything about the house seemed normal, almost comforting, until one night she suddenly woke up at exactly 2 a.m. to the sound of slow, heavy footsteps coming from upstairs. Footsteps that didn't sound random or like the house settling, but like someone walking back and forth with intention. And she lay completely still in her bed, her heart pounding as she listened closely, trying to convince herself it was nothing. But the sound continued for a few seconds before stopping abruptly, leaving behind an eerie silence that made it even worse. And the next night it happened again at the exact same time, 2 a.m., the same slow footsteps, the same unnatural rhythm. And this time the fear stayed with her even after the sound stopped. So on the third night when it started again, she finally gathered the courage to check, grabbing her phone with shaky hands and turning on the flashlight as she slowly walked toward the stairs, each step creaking under her weight as her anxiety grew stronger. And as soon as she reached the top, the footsteps suddenly stopped, as if whatever had been walking knew she was there, and she stood frozen for a moment before forcing herself to move forward, checking each room one by one, opening doors carefully and shining her light into empty spaces, until she reached a small room at the end of the hallway that felt colder than the rest of the house, a kind of cold that didn't feel natural. And inside that room there was nothing but an old full-length mirror covered in a thin layer of dust, standing alone against the wall. And something about it felt wrong, like it didn't belong there. And as Emily slowly stepped closer, she noticed her reflection looked slightly delayed, almost like it wasn't perfectly in sync with her movements. And she froze, staring at it as a wave of unease washed over her. And even though nothing clearly moved, she had the overwhelming feeling that something on the other side of the mirror was watching her, waiting. And in that moment she realized with a deep sense of dread that whatever had been making those footsteps every night was somehow connected to that mirror, and worse, it had just noticed her too. Emily stood frozen inside the hidden passage behind the mirror, her hands shaking as she finally understood that the footsteps were not coming from a ghost or anything paranormal, but from a real person who had been secretly living inside her house. Before she could find a way out, she heard slow footsteps getting closer, the same footsteps she had heard every night at exactly 2 a.m. Emily quickly turned off her flashlight and hid behind an old wooden shelf, trying not to make a single sound. A few moments later, a man slowly appeared from the darkness. His name was Daniel, and he was the person who had been hiding inside the house for years without anyone knowing. He looked around the hidden passage and realized someone had discovered his secret. Emily watched him silently as he searched every corner, moving closer and closer to where she was hiding. Suddenly, a small object fell from the shelf and hit the floor. Daniel immediately turned toward the noise, and Emily knew she had only a few seconds to escape. She quickly ran out of the hidden passage and rushed toward the main door while Daniel chased after her through the dark hallway. Emily managed to unlock the door and ran outside as fast as she could, crossing the street and reaching her neighbor's house. She started knocking on the door desperately, and her neighbors, Mark and Sarah, opened it and were shocked to see Emily terrified and shaking. They quickly brought her inside and called the police. Within minutes, police cars arrived outside the house and officers entered to search every room, including the secret passage behind the mirror. Emily stood outside waiting for them to bring Daniel out, but after a long search, the officers returned with confused expressions. They told her they found nobody inside. The hidden rooms were empty, there were no belongings, and there was no sign that anyone had ever been living there. Emily couldn't believe it and explained everything she had seen, but the police searched the house one more time and found nothing. One officer looked at her and said, "Ma'am, this house is completely empty, there is nobody here." Emily looked back at the dark windows of her house, knowing she had seen Daniel with her own eyes, but the most terrifying thought entered her mind. If Daniel was no longer inside the house, then where had he disappeared? And was he still watching her from somewhere nearby? Emily looked back at the dark windows of her house, knowing that the mysterious man was real. But the biggest question was where he had disappeared. She couldn't forget what she had seen inside the hidden passage, so the next morning she decided to return to the house with the police and uncover the truth once and for all. While searching the secret rooms behind the walls, Emily noticed a small opening hidden behind an old wooden panel that nobody had discovered before. She slowly opened it and found another hidden room buried deep beneath the house. Inside that room were old photographs, newspaper clippings, and handwritten notes that revealed the terrifying history of the mysterious man. The walls were covered with memories of the people who had lived in the house before her, and Emily realized that this secret had been hidden for many years. Suddenly, she heard a quiet sound behind her. She slowly turned around and saw the mysterious man standing in the darkness. He had been hiding in another secret part of the house the entire time, waiting for the right moment to escape. Emily was terrified, but this time she didn't run. She quickly locked the hidden door from the outside and called the police. When the officers arrived, they finally caught the mysterious man and discovered the truth about his past. He was not just a person hiding in houses. He was a dangerous criminal who had been connected to the disappearance of 5 people years ago. Emily asked him why he had been doing all of this, and after years of hiding, the mysterious man finally revealed his dark story. He explained that he had once lost everything and slowly became obsessed with watching people and living secretly in their homes. He found old abandoned houses and hidden places where nobody could find him. But his obsession became more dangerous with time. 5 people had discovered his secrets before Emily, and they never returned after that. He chose Emily's house because it had hidden rooms and passages that allowed him to stay invisible for years. Finally, the mysterious man was arrested and taken away, ending the nightmare that had haunted the house for so long. Emily left the house forever, but she never forgot the terrifying truth she discovered that night. Sometimes the most frightening monsters are not ghosts or supernatural creatures, but real people hiding silently in the darkness.